I found the ISCA after I'd been in the service for a long time. I'd been in iRacing for well over a decade and spent most of my time in NASCAR series, a lot of fixed racing for the most part, and really just got to a point in my iRacing career where I really wanted to get involved in open setup racing versus fixed, partially because I was just looking for a little higher level of competition, you know, maybe a little cleaner driving and maybe get away from some of the challenges that go along with fixed racing on the service. And it took me a while as I was really searching out leagues because I kind of had a very specific thing I was looking for. A, I wanted to be an established league. You know, B, I just really wanted clean, quality drivers to be racing around. And once I found the ISCA, I found out really quick that it was going to check all those boxes, and I've been with the ISCA ever since. I think the things I like the most about the ISCA is it's a developmental league, but it's also a league that's got some veteran drivers. And I think really what I was looking to do was try to surround myself with some people to better my talent, my skill, and my craft. And that's one thing the ISCA has really delivered. It's got great quality drivers. You learn how to race in close quarters around some of these other people. And I think the other thing, when you do look at the developmental side, you know, once I joined the ISCA, my I rating is soared, my safety rating is better than it's ever been. And it's also really great to see drivers that join our league, you know, really excel over time, some of which stay with the league and some that maybe move on to some bigger things, which is really exciting. We have a great history of developing drivers. We have a great alumni list. But I just really enjoy, you know, participating in the league and just continue to get better each week that goes by. Yeah, the competition in the ISCA is awesome. I think a lot of us talk about it, you know, each week of just how blessed we are to have such a high level of driving capabilities and just a quality group of drivers overall. And I think that's just still, I think the thing I like the most about the ISCA. You build a lot of friendships, a lot of camaraderie. You know, we're really competitive on Thursday and Saturday nights, but it's really fun also after the race to kind of review the race start to finish. And we do a lot of coaching about what's working, what's not working. Not saying we give away all of our secrets, but I think anyone that joins it, there's a common theme. A, you know, they get better each week, their I rating goes up. We see them in strength of field races over time, you know, week in, week out. And that's just something that's really fun. Even though we compete, we really appreciate the league we participate in. And I think in most cases, we're highly competitive with some of the best and cleanest drivers on the service. And if you like long green flag runs, you know, we don't have a lot of cautions in our races. We tend to have green flag pit stops. But those are just some things that I really enjoy about the league the most, is the quality of the competition, the lack of cautions, and just the long runs that really leads to some really awesome racing. Yeah, I think people that should join the ISCA are people like myself. When I go back a few years ago and I was really looking to up my game and get involved in open setup league racing, you know, for so long I just wasn't involved in that because I just didn't, well, A, I didn't seek it out, but I really didn't also know how to get started. And once I started doing research, it was a really easy choice that the ISCA was a place I really wanted to be and get involved with. And all those things I talked about earlier have happened to me, you know, from improving I rating, improving my skill. And, you know, I'm someone that I really enjoy the ISCA. I'll probably stay there, but don't think that, you know, if you're coming to the ISCA that it's something long-term. In some cases you can find a long-term home like a lot of us, but we develop drivers, and ultimately we'd like to see our drivers participate for a period of time and hopefully move their way up the ranks, whether that be into Road to Pro or Contender Series, or hopefully get to the Coke Series. That's really the goal of what we want to be, is an established league with great drivers, but also a league that's going to develop drivers into bigger and better things.
Hello and welcome, everyone, to the ISCA Saturday Cup Series, and we sure are happy to be here for the start, I do believe, of the Season 2 for the Saturday Cup Series. Of course, Super Cup Series has been ongoing for a couple of weeks now, so definitely well into the points there, but this is going to be a stepping-off point for a lot of these drivers here for sure. I do believe we have 12 drivers going to be making the grid, and Big Al, of course, introducing Big Al as well, but Big Al, look who's in the field now, Don Avery. We were just talking about this on Thursday.
What? Oh, my main man, Don Avery's back. Man, I want to tell you what, I got all giddy inside. I feel like no schoolgirl.
Shout out to Sherry out there for sure. Also, hopefully she's out there watching. But glad to see that 11 making his way back. And what a time to come back to the start of a season as well.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Man, I tell you what, definitely can look forward to me pulling him up in the booth here. Want to talk to him for sure.
yeah, 100%. Well, let's talk about the race facts here for this race here at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Home Depot 250. 163 laps, just like Thursday. Stages 35 and 75. Of course, race ending on 163 to 164. 4 sets of tires going to be down in the pits. 65 laps is the fuel window. Of course, we have seen guys be able to go a little bit further than that for sure. But tire wear seemed to be something that some guys did struggle with a tiny bit, and also attrition was a big deal on Thursday. We saw guys get involved in catastrophic wrecks, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely. You saw a lot of guys out there stretching not only their legs but their limits. So we'll definitely be looking to see tonight if patience will prevail. This track, though, has proved to be extremely racy, Brian, and I don't think it's going to be any exception this evening.
No, not at all. As qualifying, of course, is underway at the moment. Let's take a quick look at the point standings for the Super Cup Series and then the team standings. We actually neglected that a little bit on Thursday. We'll try to get to it here tonight. But here we are on the screen right now. Chris Severa, the only winner so far in the Super Cup season so far. He has gotten 3 wins in a row from what I've been told. Jose Acosta sits in second place. He has definitely been very, very consistent. He sits 44 points back from Chris Severa, but Severa definitely trying to put as much of a gap on this field as he can with how long this Super Cup Series season is. Kenny Powell sits in third. Greg Wychinski in fourth. Kendall LeVron in fifth. Brandon Passalak was sixth. Seventh, Darren Mullins. Eighth, Frank Flores. Ninth, Josh Schaffner. And 10th, Al Kozlowski. Of course, I do not believe John Schaffner will be here this evening, and I'm not seeing Brandon Passalak as well. So those guys will also be following through the points pylon here. But Frank Flores, he is here. So he has got some points he can gain to try to get up this field a little bit in the point.
Yeah, and also you're probably going to look forward to seeing Donna Avery climb back up on that leaderboard as well.
100%. Well, let's look at the team standings here. Of course, G&G definitely the dominating team right now with 3 wins coming as a result of Chris Severa crossing the line first. Pandoretta Racing, though, very close second, about 44 points back in second place. Jose Acosta and Abner Acosta have definitely been carrying that team for sure and doing very well. Third place, Bull Ring Racing. Fourth place, TWRS, which I do believe that is Kendall LeBron that is in that group there. And he's had a fine last couple weeks for sure. Has had a good, I think, a turnaround on his bad luck for sure. DJ Racing sits in sixth, and I do believe that is contains Derek Jacobs, if I'm not mistaken. Seventh place, Joey Preby, who is in the grid here tonight, going to be looking to make some points up for sure. Oh, and I actually was wrong. I said that I think that Chris Severa won all the races. Legacy is in eighth with 1 win, and I think that is Clayton Hoffman. Am I right? So I think that was Clayton Hoffman when he got his 1 win.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I do recall, like recently, he did have a pretty good race and was able to win one, if I'm not mistaken. But Chris Severa, the one that has been winning the most so far, he is, of course, the guy with the most championships as well here in the ISCA. So I expect some great things from him here tonight. But this track is a lot like a great equalizer in a lot of ways, the way it kind of works. It's a super speedway in nature, even though it is 1.5 miles. The banking at this racetrack is so great that these guys are able to mash that gas pedal all the way down, all the way around this track. We're going to see double file racing and maybe even some 3-wide racing.
Absolutely. Can't wait. It's going to be, fun. That's the only way I can say it. It's going to be fun for us. For the guys down on the track, might be a little bit like work, but I don't think that's not what we're looking forward to.
No, 100%. Definitely a lot of guys not as happy about this track, but it's so much fun to watch for sure up here in this booth. But let's go ahead and take our usual step away and play our national anthem, and definitely proud to be an American, so we got to play that, and we'll be right back.
Oh, say, can't you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Race fans, it is time for those most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines!
Hey everybody, my name is Warren Maddox. I am the president of Ultimate Experience Outdoors. Our mission, we are dedicated to taking veterans, first responders, youth, and Gold Star family members on outdoor excursions across the country.
Support for our mission has many forms, from camp cooks to the great storytellers, some buddies with the band, maybe you just want to build a campfire and sit around and listen. Nothing goes unnoticed.
Camaraderie is reborn, the acceptance among the men and women that took an oath.
Whether it was decades ago or recently renewed, but never forgotten.
If you feel like you could help us, please visit our website, www.uxonation.org.
There, you can register to hunt, sign up to sponsor an event, or even donate to us so we can continue to execute our mission.
Oh my gosh, I'm so comfortable, bro. We get a hug, man. What have you done, Jim?
We need your help to hold the line once again.
We decided it's time to put a different kind of power tool in your hands. Store Mode in the Home Depot app gives you in-store tools made to help you get more done. To guide you every step of the way and explore products quickly with the scan. That way you get the top brands at the best prices without missing a beat. It's made for doing. Download the Home Depot app and see how doers get more done.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We have the grid set for this evening's action. Chris Johnson going to be starting on the pole with a 31.058. Definitely a very fast lap there for him. Kendall LeBron, not much slower there, starts in second place. Third place, Jose Acosta. Frank Flores starts in fourth. Fifth place, Darren Mullins, with sixth place being Derek Jacobs. Seventh place being Austin Derbyshire. Eighth place, Kenny Powell. Ninth place, Chris Severa. And Joey Pruby rounds out our top 10. 11th place, Don Avery. He had a little bit of an internet issue there for a second, but was able to get back in just in time. And Paul Olson, I do believe, starts 12th. And thought we had 13, but looks like we are at 12 right now. So this is going to be a crazy racetrack, though, for even 12 cars. Wouldn't you say, Big Al?
Yeah, definitely. I think these guys will be able to bring just the right amount of excitement for us here tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be just the right amount of excitement knowing these guys. I mean, even with the smaller field, they always still bring excitement. Sometimes these Saturday races are even more exciting than the Thursday because, with the little bit of less guys out there, it allows these guys to really test themselves on each other, wouldn't you say?
Well, yeah, they were testing themselves on each other Thursday night, to say the least. So hopefully tonight patience will prevail, Brian, and we'll be able to get a lot more cars to the end of this thing. That's going to be the key. But the one thing I do like, we get those stage points, and that's going to be a big deal, especially for some of these guys that are just coming back in looking to get some points for the Super Cup Series. But for everybody involved, tonight's going to be a big night because this is the start of season 2.
Yeah, and I was talking a little bit with some of the guys before the race, Paul Olson, and he mentioned that, stage points are going to be very important for them. I know that a lot of the other G&G guys were even talking about possibly staying towards the back for the majority of the race, but Paul Olson said, no, not me. I need as many stage points as I can get. Pace car is taking that left turn down pit road, and the green flag is out for the first time here tonight at Atlanta. And a good start there for Chris Johnson. He has the 42 of Jose Acosta right there on his back bumper. You see Frank Flores already getting into the mix, trying to push Kendall LeVron. Very good qualifying effort there from that 8 machine. And he showed some good speed on Thursday as well. And Derek Jacobs, another one that showed really good speed on Thursday. I'm hoping that we see him, get himself a good finish here today.
Absolutely. It's a go, baby, go time. 28 of Kendall LeVron pulling up high on the outside. He's got Frank Flores actually making his way to the front, and Derek Jacobs. Hopefully he'll be able to have some pretty good luck tonight, Brian, and get to the front. Now, the big thing is with only 12 guys in this field, 13 guys in this field, I mean, it's a pretty good shot that everybody might get some points here tonight.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Yeah, definitely, and that's going to be the big thing. These stage points are so important, especially this being the start of the Cup season. So this is a really the perfect stepping off point. These guys all have to make sure that they're going into this season with some momentum, and I think that's what a lot of these guys are really trying to do. I'm surprised we're seeing the top lane be as strong as it is here. I know on Thursday, from what we remember, it wasn't as strong up there for the first parts of the race.
So about that, are you surprised that you're actually seeing the top line formulated this early in the race?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think it's a little soon, or you think this is going to be just indicative of what we're going to see here tonight?
I don't know. I mean, it could be a little soon for sure. I thought maybe on Thursday they had to wait for it to get kind of rubbered up to make that work, but it looks like they already have that ability. As you see, Kendall LeVron definitely looking like he's got a fast race car, but it looks like Frank Flores is a little cautious. Doesn't want to really give him too many bumps, and that makes sense. This early, you don't want to really do a whole lot of bump drafting. You just kind of want to stay in line, get these points, and survive. You got to make it to the end in order to get these points.
Yeah, but if you're going to be up top, you got to be aggressive. There's no other way around it because you can't just, you can't light-footed around the track, for lack of a better term. You got to put the hammer down, Brian, and you got to be aggressive. Be aggressive.
Well, it looks like the aggression has kind of calmed down a little bit. The bottom line has really started to come into its own as Kendall LeVron has dropped a number of spots. Now finds himself, I do believe, in the 6th place position. And we're seeing a little bit of a breakaway here, 5-car breakaway.
And that is what I think you're going to see. I think you're starting to see now those guys realizing, hey, what are we doing? Do we really want to be out here mixing it up like this early on? Because once you start making it too wide, it's just a matter of time before you're 3 wide, and then it's a whole different kind of a party.
We saw Frank Flores was up on the top. He now has moved down to the bottom, and he is definitely gaining positions because of it. He has Chris Rivera right behind him, but I think Kendall LeBron not giving up. Here comes Jose Acosta going to move to the top. Darren Mullins going to try to see if he can't take second place away.
Now you're wondering though if that was actually a byproduct of him getting a run and he didn't want to maybe lift to lose momentum, or do you think he actually intentionally kind of jumped up here to kind of get a run to go all the way up to the front on the top?
I think that maybe he saw Kendall LeBron was still committed to staying up there, and he was moving pretty quick, was starting to make some momentum up, and I think that Jose was like, hey, I'll ride this train up to the front, and I think it might work out for him. We'll have to wait and see, though. Those cars are very much connected at the moment.
Speaking of riding that train, Chris Rivera is really kind of pulling the caboose on this thing, if you think about it, because he's really sitting back in 10th place, not really wanting to engage in the craziness that's going on up front, especially not at this moment.
Yeah, I think that he just wants to try to survive and be there at the end. I mean, especially this kind of style of racing, a lot of guys, do have that strategy to where they kind of pull to the back and just at least have be in the draft at least, to where you're not losing this pack, but still have that escape route, running that bottom line. If something breaks off, you at least have an escape route when you're running the bottom.
Yeah, it's been crazy on this track this week, virtually and in the real world. So I could definitely understand his wanting to be cautious. And if Thursday's night's any indication of what tonight's race is going to be like, yeah, I'd probably be a little bit further back myself.
Yeah, 100%. Kendall LeBron, though, really giving some big pushes to Jose Acosta, but I'm wondering, they're not exactly square some places on the track. It looks like Austin Derbyshire thinking about going up to the top, but it looks like he is going to stay on the bottom. But you could definitely tell that he was wanting to go up there and possibly block that line. Joey Preby already starting to get some momentum as well, as he's on that bottom line. But you are starting to see some breaks in the bottom line there. And I think a lot of that comes down to the turbulent air that's kicking off of that top line.
Good to see Austin Derbyshire there running up top. Now, he's a buddy of ours there from BRTV, so definitely good to see him out here running. And he's actually running pretty good and consistent here tonight. He had a little bit of woes last time he ran with us. I think it was internet issues, but hey, good way to go, Austin.
Yeah, and I remember he also had some woes when it comes to getting involved in an accident on the racetrack as well. But luckily he is out here, and definitely it's a good spot to be in. I think in third, a lot of these guys up here are content to, I think, just stay in line. But top line, definitely not, though. These guys still trying to work hard to get that thing moving. And we saw also on Thursday, when it comes to this track, not all cars are equal when it comes to leading a line. So could Jose's Acosta car maybe be better at pushing and not, leading the line?
We're definitely going to have to see. Chris D. Johnson continues to lead this thing now. He wasn't up front in the 99 that he runs on Thursday, but he dang sure is out front tonight in the 48.
Yeah, and he's definitely going to be one that's going to be really good at a track like this. I think, he'll probably stay up there for quite a while until I think the last lap of the stage. We'll probably see some guys maybe trying to make something happen. Maybe Darren Mullins pulls out. But then again, I mean, it was relatively tame on Thursday towards the end of the stages. Now, when the action truly picked up was in that final stage. And I think a lot of that. What's going on?
I don't know. Somebody's blinking out there. Did you see that?
No, I'm seeing right now Jose Acosta and Kendall LeBron not having too good of a time. I think Kendall getting ready to almost even turn the 42. I think that he's having a hard time staying with his back bumper at the moment. But I didn't see the blinker. Who was that?
I thought it was Chris Johnson, and it kind of sent shockwaves through the field because you kind of got that smoke sideways issue there. I thought that might have been what actually caused Jose to check up like that.
Well, I know when Chris Johnson actually joined the session here tonight, he had a 600-something ping, so it could very well have been a blinking issue there for him. Hopefully it does not continue. It looks like everything seems to be fine in that camp right now.
But it definitely did send shockwaves through that top line. We'll figure it out, though.
Look at Kenny Powell. He's going to try to pass all by himself there as he is going to slide right on by Frank Flores. Does he get the pass completed? I don't think so, but it looks like Jose Acosta might come up here to help him. So definitely some different moves kind of happening here. Kenny Powell not wanting to stay in line.
Yeah, and we saw Kenny was very selective about who actually did push him on Thursday as well, but he ended up bringing it home in P2, so it definitely shows that he does have a rocket ship in a pretty strong setup. If he can play his cards right tonight, maybe he might be able to duplicate that podium performance.
Yeah, definitely could for sure. Maybe possibly do that. Maybe even get one step better and possibly grab the win. Still a long way to go here, and I'm sure that's his goal. I know that for a fact. That is Kenny Powell's goal. He hates to lose. Even second place is not good enough. But look at this. We see the top four right now kind of splitting up from the rest of the guys. And I think Frank Flores is being a little overly cautious right now. I feel like he's backing off way too much, and this is causing this really big separation in the pack. Kenny Powell crosses over Joey Preby. Preby moves up to the top side. Kenny Powell's having none of it, and he goes back up to the top. But Kenny Powell playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers out here.
I think he kind of let Preby know that he was not really ready to follow that lead there. Powell definitely decided to go the other way. Now Preby is going to be up top of that line. It's got Kendall LeVron behind him. But they're losing all the momentum that they did have, which is kind of concerning. They're going to have to fight back, get back up front here, Brian, because I was actually liking what I was seeing from that top line.
Yeah, I think the top line was looking strong, but I think that Jose Acosta also kind of ditched it as well. Him and Kendall LeBron were working pretty good together up there, and it looks like he maybe decided to drop down while he had the room to do so. He sits in fourth at the moment.
They'll be back.
It's all about numbers. It's all about numbers up there on that top side.
They'll be back. I mean, right now, I think their issue was they're going to do just right here what they did. They're going to get together. They're going to get a run and try to put some distance between themselves and the rest of the pack. It's going to be a lot easier for them to do that. It'll be more manageable if it's a 5-car breakaway or 4-car breakaway, because that way when it comes down to the end of the stage, you don't have a 10-car pandemonium. It's a lot easier if it's a smaller group.
100%, as we do see Austin Derbyshire actually jump up to the top here. He's going to be following. Oh, big bump there from Joey Preby to the rear end. That's going to get him up to speed very quickly. And that just shows you when these guys jump off of that top line, it's almost like a wall of air. Or when they jump off that bottom line, it's almost like a wall of air hits the front of their nose and just drags them back. And you can just see the difference in momentum. Oh, Kendall. Wow, what a save from Kendall LeBron. He almost completely wadded that thing up.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. Joey Preby kind of got into the wall there, and as he come off of the contact that he had, well, there was Kendall LeBron, and those two made inadvertent contact, and that could have been a lot worse, Brian.
It could very well have been. I mean, Kendall, definitely some great heads-up driving there. He's able to still stay with the pack here. He falls in right behind, I think, the 11 of Don Avery. They might have a potential maybe losing this pack, though, if Gary Adamson doesn't get the draft up to Paul Olson here. But I think that they'll be okay if they stay in line. Because you see the guys in front of them, they're racing hard. Joey Preby, Austin Derbyshire kind of working that top side right now as they are side by side with Frank Flores. But it looks like, yeah, they have caught up. Now, I'm worried about Derek Jacobs here. I think that maybe he might be in danger of losing the draft here.
10 laps remaining in stage 1. So far, it has been the Chris D. Johnson show as he has led every lap since the green flag has flown, Brian. Hopefully, we'll be able to see some transition happen as the field is starting to regather itself here, and they're going to get a little bit racy as we enter into the latter stages of stage 1.
Got Joey Preby's in-car camera on your screen. He is right in the middle of the thick of this right now, so this is definitely a good view. You can see how much he's working that wheel at the moment. So a lot of counter steering going on. Looks like he's got himself a loose race car at the moment. But look at the speeds these guys are hitting on this backstretch, almost 190 mile an hour. 3 wide, Paul Olson in the middle. He's going to get loose. All the turbulent air when you're in the middle like that definitely whips that car around. Looks like they're going to make it through it just fine for now. Looks like they're fine.
Don't think that 3 wide was by design. I think that was more of an oopsie. Yeah, that was one of those unintended 3 wide situations. Inadvertent 3 wide situations.
100%. Surprised, though, Derek Jacobs was able to work his way back up and catch up to the pack. And I think it might have been because of that, slowdown. When they go 3 wide like that, they slow each other down quite substantially, just pulling on their back spoilers, with the air.
Yeah, speaking of pulling on the back spoiler, the 11 of Don Avery all over the back. He and Frank Flores. Frank's he's doing actually pretty good here. Tucked right there snugly in the top 5 here tonight, Brian. Didn't get that big breakaway separation that I anticipated, as everybody seems to be one big old happy family here.
For now. But yeah, Frank's definitely doing fine right now. He's in 5th. I mean, that's going to be some really good points there for that team if they're able to hold on to it. We're 6 laps to go this next time by. See Joey Preby kind of touching that apron in the corners. That is a no-no. You can run on the apron on the front stretch, but it's very difficult to do that in the corner. But yeah, Chris Johnson, definitely domination at the moment. Still some battling further in the pack. Austin Derbyshire trying to find where he belongs in this pack. Oh, Chris Severa getting incredibly loose. He shoots up to the top side, gets sideways. He sees the smoke off them tires. Not sure what that was about. Maybe changing lanes too quick. I know that's something that these guys have been kind of talking about, that you can't change lanes very fast. For the most part, though, everybody has gotten single filed out. Now 5 laps to go, 4 next time by. So I think everybody's a lot calmer than I thought they would be at this point in the stage.
Yeah, and so as long as Kenny Powell and Jose Acosta don't make a break for it, it should end just the way it is. Now, if somebody in the front decides to make it racy, say the 64 pulls along to the outside, that will allow those guys that are in that second group to kind of catch up. But so far, if they stay single file, it'll be almost impossible for that second row to get a good run like that.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like Kenny Powell might be sizing up something there. He kind of backs off from Jose Acosta. I think he might be building the run here.
He's going to need somebody to go with him, though, Brian, and that's going to be the key. He's going to need to get Frank Flores to kind of get a little bit closer to him.
And it looks like Don Avery shoots up to the top right in front of Kendall LeBron. So we do see some battling starting to form, as Don Avery wants to get even better points than this. He's first time back in quite a while, and he's out here to get some. He's out here to send a message, that's for sure. That hey, Don Avery's back. Also see Joey Preby and Paul Olson fighting side by side. They fight for, I do believe, the 8th position at the moment. Chris Severa now has gone side by side.
Yeah, but none of that's going to matter if that lead pack stays in a single file line. These guys are going to be really waiting to see Jose Acosta, Kenny Powell. That's going to be that breaking point. That's going to be, I think, where it's going to have to come unhinged if the guys in the far back expect to have any shot at it.
100%. Now the white flag is out for the stage. Here comes Frank Flores with the help of Don Avery. Avery into the outside wall. So you can see that Frank Flores just shot his shot. Is anyone else going to try to take a chance here coming out of turn 3 and 4? And it looks like not, I do believe. And it will be very close. Chris Johnson, your stage 1 winner. Darren Mullins, last second decision there. I don't know. The caution is not out yet, so I think Darren Mullins is your stage 1 winner. How about that? It ain't over till the caution comes out, and Darren Mullins, not giving up, was able to get that first place position in the stage. Darren Mullins definitely showing that he means business here tonight. Definitely great job to him for sure, winning the stage 1. Jose Acosta finishes in second. Chris Johnson in third. Fourth place, Kenny Powell. Fifth place, Kendall LeBron. Sixth place, Frank Flores. Seventh, Don Avery. Eighth, Paul Olson. Ninth, Austin Derbyshire. And 10th, Chris Severa. Those are the points-paying positions. So definitely going to be some big points paid out there to Darren Mullins. With that, we'll go ahead and take a step away, pay a little bit more attention to our sponsors, and we'll let these guys get some fresh shoes on these machines. We'll be right back.
We decided it's time to put a different kind of power tool in your hands. Store Mode in the Home Depot app gives you in-store tools made to help you get more done. To guide you every step of the way and explore products quickly with the scan. That way you get the top brands at the best prices without missing a beat. It's made for doing. Download the Home Depot app and see how doers get more done.
And we are back. And what a race it has been thus far. We saw a pretty heated race off of pit road, but Darren Mullins able to get off in that first place position. I do believe we're going to be joined in the booth by our stage 1 winner. Darren, do you read me?
Yes, sir. I got you, buddy.
All right. Great job to you. I mean, Chris Johnson crossed the checkered flag we thought as the stage 1 winner, but the caution hadn't came out yet, and you weren't done racing, so you were able to get that stage 1 win, man. I mean, how does that feel? I mean, it seemed like you got a fast race car underneath you tonight.
Yeah, we got a good car tonight. It's feeling pretty sporty. Yeah, I race till the caution comes out. Kind of learned that a while back. Just keep going until the yellow comes out. So got to run on him on the outside there, or he was protecting the inside and opened up the outside for us. So, yeah, benefited, and I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, definitely seemed to work out for you for sure. Now, what's the strategy for stage 2?
Hopefully I can keep it where I'm at, stay in the top 3 if possible, and do the same. If something opens up late, I'll do the same, try to make a move and get another win.
Well, there you go. Well, after that stage 1 victory, who can we shout out to tonight, Darren?
Definitely tonight, the boys in the booth and Elite Performance and Ram Welding and Fabrication. Got to thank all of them.
All right. Well, best of luck to you, Darren, and we'll see you next time. Hopefully, we might even get to see you at the end of this thing.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All righty. That was Darren Mullins, the 64 machine. Stage number 1, definitely a fantastic performance there from him. Can't wait to see what he's got in store for us here for stage number 2. Definitely looks like he's got a hot rod there, Big Al.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, way to go, taking advantage of the situation towards the end of the stage where a lot of people were kind of giving up. But, you never give up, not till you see that yellow flag fly. And I'm sure Chris Johnson wasn't expecting that. Like you said, he was protecting the bottom line. And there goes Darren on the Hyla side, so there it is.
All right, well, here we go. Pace car has dipped down pit road. Green flag is going to wave once again here. We got up on our screens Kenny Powell's in-car camera. Kind of see what he's going through here on this restart. Top line just not getting a good start at all. Darren Mullins pulling away from everybody. I don't know if you want to catch people sleeping here at a super speedway.
Well, the key's going to be you can get a 2-car breakaway. The key's going to be if everybody else can kind of get in line. That's going to be the key, Brian. If these guys are going to be racy in the back, then they won't catch the guys up front.
But it does look like Darren Mullins does get caught, so pulling away like that probably not the best idea. But it looks like Jose Acosta at least being somewhat low there, going to stick with him as they get that bottom line moving once again. But the top line is really the one that has surged ahead. You see Chris Johnson leading that line along with Kenny Powell, who is on your screen at the moment. Chris Severa right there behind him. They have a three-car kind of tandem kind of going on. They're all pushing each other, and that's what I love about this next gen. You can, we always hear that rule, don't push the pusher, but you can kind of do that in this next gen.
Absolutely, and you can kind of get jiggy with it on a track like on this new Atlanta Super Speedway because it is kind of breaking the rules if you think about it. It's a short super speedway, so you get a lot of bumping and grinding going on in there, Brian.
And look at this. Chris Severa was dropping down to the bottom, was almost hung out 3 wide, but was just barely able to slide in behind Kenny Powell. I think Paul Olson might have did him a solid there. Said, go on ahead, buddy, get up there.
Darren Mullins, though, he has been maintaining his position down on the bottom the whole time. Jose Acosta tucked in right behind him. That high line has been it has established itself, Brian, and it's not waning whatsoever. So good to see those guys up top and making it work.
Yeah, this is much different than what we saw on Thursday. I mean, a lot of guys were treating that top line like it was the plague. But now it seems like everybody wants to run this top line. It seems like it has got a lot of grip. Paul Olson, though, deciding to go down to the bottom. And he leaves his G&G teammates.
I think that was an orchestrated event, though, because it looked like
almost a wreck there.
Still not out of the woods yet.
Not at all. That was almost a catastrophe there. Chris Severa dropping to the bottom, and he is going to see if he can't get Darren Mullins to push him along.
Man,
Darren Mullins goes 3 wide. He says, I'm not pushing Chris Severa. And Jose Acosta sticks with Mullins. I'm liking this little new team dynamic. I know these guys aren't on the same team, but they definitely seem like they're working well together, and they seem like they found a dancing partner as we see Don Avery trying to make something happen on the top side here as well.
You know what I'm liking? I'm liking the 3 wide racing. I'm liking the bumping. I'm liking the grinding. I'm liking the drafting. I think I'm liking everything about this track.
It's definitely a lot of fun to watch, that's for sure. Now, there are the detractors that want the old Atlanta back, but I can't wait to see what this track looks like as it wears. You know what I mean? Like, as a track, 10, 15 years from down the line, it's not going to be a super speedway, I don't believe.
They want the old Atlanta back. I want my 30-year-old waistline back.
Don Avery stuck out on the top. Definitely going to be hurting him for sure as he drops positions here. No one really coming to his aid. But Chris Johnson has been the dominant factor here so far tonight. Has led the majority of the laps. Of course, did not win stage number 1. I think he might be looking to change that in this stage.
Yeah, absolutely. And these guys understand it. They understand the value of actually coming out here tonight and actually getting stage points because, as this season goes on, you're not going to have small fields where you got 13 cars. So tonight, you get a stage point. You get a stage point. We kind of got the Oprah Winfrey thing going on here. You just got to be available. And if you can keep your car from getting banged up too bad, Brian, you might even come out of this thing with a possibility of having a top 5 at the end of it.
Definitely, for sure. I'm wondering what has happened to Derek Jacobs. We must have missed something because he is now well off the draft. He's about 11 seconds back from our leader, Chris Johnson. So, and when you're at a super speedway, that is the place you do not want to be. At Talladega, Daytona, even Atlanta Super Speedway here, if you're by yourself on the track, it becomes awfully boring and awfully miserable because you're not able to turn the same type of laps you are when you're in this pack. So hopefully everything's okay with Derek Jacobs. Hopefully he didn't get too much damage or anything like that. I don't know what happened to him. Maybe he just was being overly cautious and lost the draft possibly. We do have a little bit of a split here in the middle of the pack. Joey Preby and Chris Severa have a little bit about, I do believe, a couple tenths in between them. But I think Preby still has the ability to get back up here.
25 laps to go in this stage, though. We're still showing Derek Jacobs being clean and green, so not sure exactly what did happen. Best case scenario for him, he'll be able to battle and stay on the lead lap. So far, we don't have any cars that are a lap down. So, worst case, he won't have any competition for the lucky dog.
Yeah, I mean, if he goes a lap down, he'll at least get that lap back for sure. But still, I was curious. Definitely wonder what happened. I mean, I think that he might end up going a lap down here, just considering how slow he is by himself. And we're seeing a lot of wiggling going on there from Joey Preby as he's being pushed by Paul Olson. It's so hard to predict the lines that these guys are taking. That's why you have to really find your dancing partner. Even though this is a lot like a super speedway race, it's a lot harder to hold your line around this place. I mean, you go to Talladega, you go to Daytona, it's a lot easier to, hold that bottom line, hold that top line. But here, it's a whole different story. I mean, it's a shorter track, and it's just so hard to predict where that other driver is going to be going, especially with the ability for these guys to drive on the apron and on the front stretch. I mean, that makes it a whole nother variable that it makes it so hard to follow someone.
Yeah, I don't think we could do that the first time we were here. I remember that almost being a penalty going beneath that red line. So this time, obviously, you can go wherever you want to, and that works out a lot better for everybody. Just don't understand the purpose of putting a big red line down on the racetrack if it don't mean anything.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think it just makes it just some unnecessary risk because you go down there, if you have it as an option, the drivers that are up above that line don't have to let you back up. That is one of the kind of the cons of going down there. And if they don't let you back up, then you got an issue because that equation does not equal out. Usually that equals wrecking.
You almost have one of those Phoenix-like situations where.
Yeah, we've seen that be, something that's unpredictable. I mean, I remember I think we were at Phoenix, if I'm not mistaken, last week. And, we did see issues like that to where guys would go down there on the dog leg or they wouldn't. And other guys would expect them to. And then the accident would happen because of that.
Got a lot better, though, this time than it was on the previous time. So I guess we're all figuring it out. I mean, we're all getting better at it one way or the other, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've done some racing here this week, and it is hectic. I mean, it's all about survival. I mean, that is really the key. But the thing about ISCA, though, is, it's about survival. But most of the time, these races go very, very green. Now Thursday, we did have some cautions, but for the most part, it still went very, very green. And, you can't really rely on just surviving in order to get points here and positions here in the ISCA. You got to get up on that wheel and start driving.
You got to drive it, baby. That's what I love about it, and I love the competitiveness. I love the co-opetition, and I love the fact that because it's such a high caliber of races, you do see green flag racing a lot, man. And this stage right here doesn't prove to be any different. So I was surprised that nobody actually experimented. Maybe took two. If the tire wear not being such a big of an issue. Somebody maybe would have risked it, but nobody did.
Well, I remember on Thursday, I think we did see someone risk it, taking no tires. Was Darren Mullins, if I recall correctly, and he didn't show really a lack of speed. He seemed like he was okay.
I thought he fell through the field pretty quick.
He didn't fall. I think as long as he was in the draft, he was okay. So, I mean, I think it's something that could be a possibility that you could try. I don't know. I mean, you might be right. I mean, I don't know. I think tires do mean something here, but not near as much as you would have seen at the old Atlanta.
Well, I'm going to tell you, they must be putting a pretty big significance on them because nobody even risked it. Nobody thought about it. Now, as this thing goes, and the reason why I'm saying that is that would have been the time to do it to get.
Oh, a little bit of contact there between the 42 and the 62.
Nobody got time for that.
Yeah, I think the 42 just kind of got hung out to dry and got a little tight, went up the track, and Chris Rivera took advantage of it.
Now he's battling side by side with Joey Preby. Oh, and now he's sideways into the wall. That's going to be a bad night for Paul Olson, Jose Acosta at least. And I think there's at least one more person involved in that.
Yeah, I think we
30
might have a meatball flag here for the 42.
No, the meatball flag actually goes to the 43. 42 still being shown clean.
Take a look back at this, see exactly what just happened. See the 16 and the 42 side by side, and I think the 43 just, got up into the 42. Oh, huge hit for the 43 of Paul Olson.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's
Paul
take a
Olson
different look at
probably
that.
going to be in the infield care center here momentarily.
Want to look at this from Paul Olson's standpoint. I think that wasn't the 42's fault. I don't believe. I think Paul Olson just got a little too high, and unfortunately, real estate being as limited as it is, and look at the 36, lost it there on the apron.
Man, we played a little tuck games there on pit road. Half the field coming down, the other half not. Kenny Powell doing a little juke and jive there, actually stayed out.
It looks like the 36 did not hit anything, which is good.
Whoa, he still did. Okay, he didn't take the toe. That's just you coming back to.
No, he didn't take a toe. I think he lost it when he was trying to avoid that wreck, and good heads up driving there for the 36. But yeah, you're right. A lot of people on pit road at the moment or just got completed with their pit stops. I do believe Kenny Powell actually did. He stay out, Big Al?
Yes, he did. He actually led the little fake charge there to kind of send some guys down on pit road. And once those guys were committed, they really couldn't pop out. So worked out in Powell's favor. I mean, and I was going to ask you that question in that situation. Do you come down pit road or do you stay out? I mean, but I guess the top six answered the question.
Well, I mean, you have an extra set of tires to play with. 4 sets starting out for these drivers. Of course, 4 in the pits. I mean, so that means you have an extra one to play with. These guys have already used 1, and now if they just used 2. Now I think the real question is, do you come in after the stage is over? If you just took tires just now, do you stay out possibly?
You're going to have to do one or the other, right? But here's the thing. I think they're telling us that tires matter. I mean, that's all I'm getting from looking at it. Even if it's a thought in your mind with 10 laps to go in the stage to come in and take tires, then this isn't your standard super speedway. I mean, no one's taking tires at Daytona. No one's taking tires at Talladega. But if half the field had to think about it here, that's letting us know that the tires are definitely becoming a factor.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree totally. No, I agree 100%. I feel like this is almost like a hybrid.
Well, yeah, that's the way they set it up. But I mean, it's speaking to us, though, letting us know exactly that these guys are going to have to think about their tires, especially going into that third and longer stage there.
100%. I think another question we're getting ready to have answered as well is how that's going to be evidence for what you're talking about. How much tires matter. How does Kenny Powell do on this restart?
I think he's going to be fine. I mean, honestly, he's got 25 laps on their tires, 26 laps. I don't think it's going to be an issue.
Yeah, see, the top 5 right now have 25 laps on their tires. Everyone else has, I do believe, pitted just recently.
Hard to pass. Stay in line. They'll be fine.
Well, some of the guys actually spent only about 7 seconds on pit road, but some were just taking fuel. And that could be something that, we've seen before, that when you take gas here, the next stop, you won't have to spend as much time. So I think that might be
I think
bad start.
Up the line.
Bad start there for sure for a lot of drivers.
Jose Acosta with a black flag. He's the only driver I see actually with a black flag for the start.
I want to take another look back at that start real quick.
Kenny Powell ain't going to be getting no cookies for that one.
I I want to take a look back at this start because someone, I think Kenny Powell spun the tires, and Derek Jacobs also spun the tires. So a lot of drivers, the Joey Preview, I mean, that was just a terrible restart, and that might even be because of the tire.
Yeah, it probably was because all of those guys had old tires.
That is going to be terrible for Jose Acosta. I'm surprised Darren Mullins didn't get a black flag there because he crossed the start-finish line before Kenny Powell did. But, man, that has shaken up everything out here.
Yeah, it might have been because of that Geico restart zone because once Powell hits the Geico restart zone and he goes, once he hits the throttle, the race starts. It doesn't matter at that point who crosses the line first.
I bet Kenny Powell and Derek Jacobs and a lot of those drivers are regretting not taking tires. I'll tell you one driver that's not regretting it, though, Darren Mullins. He's still out front, and he's on the older tires.
Yep, definitely 28 laps on, and he is out front. Like I said, man, it's hard to pass here. So the top two right now, him and Kendall LeVron, have got to hold off Austin Derbyshire. But wouldn't it be great if our buddy Austin Derbyshire could come in here tonight, be the spoiler, Brian, get underneath these guys and take the stage win? He is in that pivot point. He will be the guy that actually gets to make the decision, and he could possibly bring Gary Adamson along with him.
Yeah, possibly for sure. Gary Adamson able to get through and sneak through that without getting a cost or a penalty there. And now I talked about it earlier. I was like, these ISCA races aren't as usually aren't as much about survival. It's about kind of just how fast you are and how consistent you can be. But it seems like in this race, it's about who doesn't get a penalty, apparently.
Well, I mean, it's racing, and that's the reason why we have to run every single lap, and not each lap is going to be the same. But we do have consistently a 6-car breakaway. That's going to be all the way back to Don Avery. Welcome back, Don Avery, Kenny Powell in 5th, Gary Adamson up to 4th. Austin Derbyshire having himself a banner day in 3rd. Kendall LeVron in 2nd, and Darren Mullins leading the way.
Yeah, you hate to see that for Jose Acosta. Now 3 laps now and having to serve that penalty. That is just awful. I'm surprised no one tried to clear that for him. I mean, that just was unfortunate, I'd say. But then again, a lot of times when stuff like that goes wrong on a restart, you can't change lanes as much as you want to. You've seen it before to where you pass on the bottom. You can't pass on the bottom.
And Jose probably also had car damage as well, man, because he did hit the wall kind of hard.
That's right. You are correct.
Getting caught up in that little melee that did bring out the caution.
But now it looks like 5 laps to go here in this stage. Of course, if you just joined us, we just saw a caution that rocked the field. And then we also saw a restart that rocked the field, paying out some black flags. We only see 6 cars right here. Luckily, we will have a caution very soon that will get everybody back in line.
Yeah, I think the restart kind of created more melee than the caution did. But hey, here we go with just 5 laps to go at the line in this stage. The 64, Mr. Darren Mullins leading the way. Kendall LeVron, he's going to have to make some decisions, and that's going to be how much blocking is he going to do on Austin Derbyshire. Derbyshire being a pivot man right now, whatever momentum he has, he is going to have to lead the way, because if he can't get any momentum, Brian, then there is no advance at all going to happen towards the leadership.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see Kenny Powell. He's right there behind Austin Derbyshire. I think that once these guys get up to operating speed, it seems like the tires don't matter as much. But it seems like they affect you on the restart like crazy. And that also could affect these guys later. Like, green flag pit stops. When you're coming off of pit road, you decide to not take tires, that you could spin out.
Well, this is what we're going to see right now, man. These guys are kind of jockeying just a little bit. Like I said, Austin Derbyshire is going to be in that pivot position. If he can't get a lead, or run rather, then it really kind of stays the way it is. I don't know if Kendall LeVron's going to mix it up that much, because if he's got nobody on his bumper, then he really kind of stalls himself as well. Look at Gary Adamson going way up high, trick-or-treating in the neighborhoods that nobody goes to.
Definitely. I wonder what he was doing there. Maybe just trying to test the waters up there.
He in that bad candy.
Yeah. And here we go. Final lap of the stage, and Kendall LeVron jumps down to the apron. Austin Derbyshire sticks with him. This is going to be a fight to the finish for this stage. Top line's getting a big run. Kenny Powell giving some good pushes to the 64.
Ooh, more drivers on the high line than the bottom line. This could get interesting, Brian.
And it looks like they dropped down right in front of Kendall LeVron.
Yeah, indeed they did. Darren Mullins definitely navigating it, but it's still a long way to go before this caution flag is going to come out. So these guys aren't out of the woods just yet. They still got a lot of racing left to do.
Kendall LeVron. Oh, there goes Austin Derbyshire.
Austin didn't get the memo.
Goodness.
I guarantee you he lifted.
And look at that. Damage on the right side. And I'm wondering what just happened.
Yeah, I bet you he didn't get the memo.
Take a look back at this. We see Kendall LeVron hit the apron, slides up the track, and Don Avery just right into the left side there of the 91. Hopefully the damage is not too severe, but you can see it even from up here in the booth.
And that's not going to be a good look because that car is going to handle somewhat kind of freaky here. So he's going to want to come down, get all the damage fixed on that he can.
Let's look at this. You see Austin, I don't know, that was a little bit of netcode, but I don't know why Don Avery, I guess the caution wasn't out yet. So he thought he was going to get some positions.
I think those guys lifted though is what it is, and he didn't. So next thing you know, he's kind of coming through the middle. I'm not going to do the Miley Cyrus thing, but you get it, right?
Yeah. Came in like a wrecking ball.
That's what I'm saying.
Pit stops are underway. Let's go ahead and take a brief step away. We'll be right back with whoever Big Al wants to talk to. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. I do believe Big Al has a guest that he'd like to talk to. Big Al, you have the floor.
Hey, Austin Derbyshire. Big Al up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I do, Al. How are you tonight?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. So let me ask you a question. This track here, is this more like work or is this fun for you?
Oh, I really enjoyed this.
Awesome. So how's the racing been down there? Is it too racy for the stages, or has it been just pretty much spot on?
Oh no, it's been really good. Everyone seems to fly low and go single file when we need to, and then right as the stages come to the end, we race for it, and that's the way I think it should be.
Well, good deal. Remember, you're on the retainer because all those mean, nasty things that you said to me. So the question that I got is, what's your strategy here for the pit window?
Well, I just picked up about 2 minutes of 2 minutes strategy. 2 minutes of damage there, so I'm just getting that repaired. Got about a minute off of it, and as soon as I get that all repaired, I'll be good to just come out and try and get the lead again. Well, not that I've had it yet, but.
Well, buddy, it's good to see you down there. I mean, and good luck to you. You're definitely putting on a tremendous show and having good luck so far through the first two stages. Before we let you go, who you shouting out for so far?
Just everyone at Reaper and you guys and Kenny Powell for putting the league on.
All right, man. Keep your head on straight, and hopefully we'll see you at the end of this thing.
10-4. If I don't crash here.
Alrighty, that was Austin Derbyshire, driver of the 91. Definitely a good friend of me and Big Al's, and glad that he seemed like he was in okay spirits and stayed on the lead lap. I know he's got some damage on that right side. I'm hoping it doesn't affect him too much, Big Al.
Yeah, but this is one of those tracks that is really aero dependent, though. But if he can get in the draft, and hopefully that thing will track and move fast, though. Can't wait to get the pace car out of the way because this is going to be the longest of the 3 stages. I do call this stage 3 though, because you got to get through that green flag pit stop, and then that's what takes us home. So,
and there goes the pace car, going to be taking that left turn down pit road. And Chris Johnson, a little bit blink there as he comes up to the green. Green flag is out. That was a little scary. We're getting ready to have another catastrophe and a restart there for a second.
Yeah, we talked about that just a little bit earlier on, because he was, kind of blinking a little bit at the start of this thing. But here he goes now. Got that thing pointed in the right direction. Question is going to be, are these guys going to get out there and battle up top, make it 2 lanes by 2 lanes, or are they just going to kind of settle down, let the tires come in, and just kind of track your own status, I guess you'd say, Brian? What are you doing?
Look at this big run there for him. Darren Mullins up on the top along with Kendall LeVron. We do have the camera up for Don Avery. Get to see what he kind of looks like there. I'm sure Sherry's losing her mind seeing that. But he's having a little bit of a blinking issue there.
He's kind of looking like the invisible man there here periodically.
Oh, big issue there for Chris Johnson. He shoots down to the apron. I think he might have just got bumped out of the line there.
Man. Yeah, that is going to be unfortunate for him, because there's no way to slow this whole pack down. So he's going to have to hopefully get it back in there, dialed in, and get back on the move.
Yeah, you hate to see that, too. I mean, he was definitely a fantastic driver here so far tonight. I mean, he's led a lot of laps. Hopefully, I'm sure he's going to be praying for some sort of caution or something that's going to come out here and save him. But now Kendall LeVron has taken the lead of this procession. And Chris Severa right behind him.
We're officially halfway through this thing, and we got the field split almost halfway into as well. That lead breakaway right now looking like it's going to consist of...
Oh, Derek Jacobs with some big issues.
Derek Jacobs going to bring out the caution right there no matter what. I don't think we're going to be able to...
Well, no caution yet.
There's
gotta
no
wait.
way.
Is Chris Johnson? No, he's still... I don't think Chris Johnson's on the track here. No caution. There's going to be one maybe possibly there. No.
How
did that not bring a caution out?
It's coming.
I want to look back at this.
I think Derek was even talking to the caution gods on the phone.
Well, here we go. Let's take a look back at this and see what happened. I think it might have came off the back bumper of Jose Acosta, or the front bumper of Jose Acosta. You see them exiting here, and I think just a bad bump on the exit of the corner sent Derek Jacobs for a ride.
Yeah, that's an understatement. He did, and how there was no caution yet. I mean,
tragic for Derek Jacobs' sake, I'd say.
Unfortunate for a lot of drivers there so far.
Also see that Chris Johnson out of the race car now, 3 laps down. Jose Acosta has moved up to now 11th. And we do see Derek Jacobs actually is getting caught by the pack.
Yeah, I was wondering how long it was going to be before Chris actually brought it down pit road.
Definitely, I think tempers and emotions are high here tonight, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, their emotions and tempers just ran off together hand in hand, and they're making out under the bleachers.
Well, it looks like everybody's going to be able to get by Derek Jacobs just fine. Hopefully he's able to fall in line. Of course, he didn't hit anything, I don't believe. But he did spin it quite a bit, so those tires probably pretty roasted at the moment.
And he's probably going to be waiting on that old John Deere to come by. I think it might be hunting season that he might be declaring it down there.
Definitely could be the case. But Kendall LeVron, right now, your leader. Talked about Kendall. He's had a lot of trials and tribulations, has not had a lot of success, a while ago. But now it seems like he's trending in the right direction. He's been having... What's up?
I don't think he's going to be the leader long. I think right now, I mean, he's in the lead, but I think it's just a matter of time before Chris Severa actually kind of gets around him. This is one of those situations where you really don't benefit much by staying behind somebody if you're faster than them. It actually is a little bit more detrimental. I mean, you think I'm wrong on that?
Well, I don't know. I think that Chris Severa might be sitting behind Kendall LeBron possibly to get fuel economy, you know. Because, I mean, that is still something that these guys are going to have to deal with. Of course, 65 laps on the fuel tank.
Yeah, I got you. And he's probably just going to shove them all the way around the track. So, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I think seems to be the case. I think the real question is Darren Mullins. I think that will be what pushes Chris to maybe make a pass, is Darren Mullins puts on enough pressure. 12 laps, though, into this stint. Of course, I just mentioned 65 laps in a fuel window. That means in the next 10 or 15 laps, we're going to be in that fuel window. But still, I don't think that is going to spur anybody to come down pit road. I think we're going to see most of these drivers probably kind of split it in half. But for the most part, right now, this group is single-filed out. And it looks like Paul Olson getting ready to possibly go another lap down. Glad to at least see him back on the racetrack. He is going to be now 18 laps down when this parade catches up to him.
Well, you know, sometimes it's like that. You got to put the time in, though, you know, and that's exactly what he's doing. That's how you get paid out here. At least 8 more laps, he'll catch up with Chris Johnson. That'll move him up into 12th.
Yeah, for sure. I talked to Paul Olson after Thursday night's race, and he didn't realize that a lot of guys had gotten destroyed in that race, and he actually expressed to me that he wished he had got back out there. And so I think he might have learned his lesson for this race. I think he's like, you know, there's going to be maybe some more stuff that goes wrong, right? You know,
absolutely, bud.
I want to take advantage of it. You know, you can't take advantage of it if you're not out there driving. As miserable as it is, that's points.
Look, I heard a story about, you know, when back in the olden days of racing, and these guys are out there. Guys, and this was back when they would drive the cars to the racetrack. Well, a guy goes out there, and they take the tires off of a trailer, and they put them on the guy's car, and he goes out there and he continues to run this thing. It just, you know, you're going to be there for a minute. That's what I'm saying. So nobody quits, nobody leaves. You get it fixed, you get back out there, and you keep going. Kendall LeBron continues to lead this thing so far. And yeah, you're right. Chris Rivera just tucked right in there behind him. Brian, you muted?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was muted. I was talking that whole time. My fault there, Big Al. I was saying something about what you were talking about, the trailer tires. So they ran out of tires and they put the trailer tires on there. That's pretty neat.
And the reason why is because of the ply of the trailer tires. It would last so much longer on the racetrack.
Yep, you didn't have to pit just for fuel. That's all you had to pit for.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I think I've heard that story before, yeah.
I learned all of that stuff from watching Dale Jr.'s podcast.
Yeah, definitely a good podcast to listen to for sure. We do see, of course, the top 7 kind of all right up here within a second of each other. We see 8th place and 9th place, which are Gary Adamson and Austin Derbyshire kind of working together at the moment. Of course, I do believe eventually they're probably going to get caught by this pack, but I don't know. Last time by they actually were faster. I'm looking at this. And you kind of discussed it. Oh, look at that. I do believe Jose Acosta has gotten involved with them now. That's why they're faster. They're actually starting to catch this lead pack. And you mentioned it earlier, Big Al. It's a lot easier, less variables when you have more less people, right? Yep. Yeah, 3 cars. That's a good number. I think that these guys might be able to make something happen here with that number. Because Jose Acosta, of course, he's 2 laps down. But if he can push Gary Adamson, these guys might be able to get back into contention. You can see that they can see the other pack on the straightaways.
Yeah, he's nowhere near out of it. I mean, Derek Jacobs, the only other guy that's going to stand in between him and a lucky dog. Plus, you might have the possibility of a wave around. I don't believe this thing's going to go green all the way through just because we do have green flag pit stops, and those by themselves can prove to be challenging, Brian. So a lot of racing left to go here. 65 laps left on the docket. We've seen a lot of topsy-turvy conditions here on the racetrack, even seen a couple cautions, at least one due to mischief.
Yeah, definitely. We should have probably had more than that, just considering we've seen some accidents as well to where the caution just didn't come out. Eric Jacobs was sideways in the middle of the track. But like you said, now 100 laps into this event, the laps are definitely counting down.
And kudos to Jacobs, though, for actually going through everything that he did and still only being a lap down. That's a testament to his tenacity here this evening.
Yeah, and he is still right here with this pack. So as soon as the caution comes out, he would be able to get that lap back.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. It still definitely in this thing. Nobody's out of it except for maybe Chris D. Johnson, because now he is, secured the 13th spot because he is not on the racetrack anymore. Paul Olsen has already moved up to 12th. Going to see what he does. Jose Acosta, though, he is still finding himself a lap down. 2 laps down for Jose, sorry.
Yep. These guys now have entered the fuel window. Of course, I don't believe we'll see pit stops still any. Looking at it, I think these guys are 24 laps in this stint. I'd say the next 15, 20 laps, that's when we probably see green flag stops. What do you think, Big Al?
Man, I don't know. That's a tall order right there because you're going to get to a point where it's going to be too late to pit. And right now, I think it's too early to pit. So I'm thinking maybe 15 laps is when it's going to be the sweet spot. About 45 laps to go. That's when I would have my guy go ahead and come down because we've got those numbers dialed in already. We know exactly how fast the car is going to be and how hard we can push it. So that'll be somewhere between 45 laps to go in the race.
Yeah, I could definitely see that being the case for sure. We are starting to see some splitting here. It looks like Frank Flores is in danger of possibly losing the draft here.
Yeah, that's
Derek Jacobs.
That's unfortunate for Flores because he's been running good here tonight, man. Those guys were having a good, solid points run. They still will. Was just hoping maybe he would have been a little bit closer to the front.
I think he's just possibly in the safe zone right now. I think he might still have a chance to get up there to Joey Preby.
Well,
he cannot make a mistake. He cannot make a mistake here.
If Preby helps him, he can.
I don't know. I think it might be a done deal. He kind of went a little bit too high on the straightaways. He's going high right now. Like, he needs to be right in the tire tracks of Joey Preby in order to benefit from the draft.
Got to get in the wake.
I think that he is. I think it's all said and done. I think he might have lost the draft. Now, if these guys up here in that top 6 start racing each other, then he might be able to get back up in it.
No, he gone.
I know Derek Jacobs definitely is. Jacobs has lost the draft for sure. And that is just no fun to be all out here by yourself.
Yeah, Preby's actually fallen back, but unfortunately, I think Flores is definitely gone.
And it's almost a lot like I like to liken it to in space. You know what I mean? Like to where you're on the International Space Station in your flight in your suit, right? And your tether breaks, and you just start drifting away. You know?
Yep. Going end over end over end over end into infinity.
Nope. Frank's going to have to hope he can probably link up with Austin Derbyshire and Gary Adamson. But that definitely could make possibly Austin Derbyshire get up to 7th possibly.
Yeah, because eventually if they just stay the course, they will pick each other up. It's kind of like, helping a little buddy out.
That's just like Paul Olsen. I mean, these guys have picked up another car. We see Jose Acosta, of course, 2 laps down. Austin Derbyshire, Gary Adamson, both of those guys are on the lead lap. But Paul Olson, he's 18 laps down right now, but he has gotten with these guys. And they, I think, will end up catching Frank Flores. And that's going to add yet another number. And that's going to power up this group. I don't know if they're going to have enough time. They're 10 seconds back from the lead pack.
But my question is, are you faster with 3 or 4? And I know you're going to be faster with 3 than 5.
I don't know. I think that of course, we talk about it, too many cooks, if you will. Too many drivers in a pack can make it more complicated if everybody's racing each other. That's the key. You can have those 5 cars, and it'll be better than when you have 3 cars if everybody is of the same mind, right? To where we're staying in line, we're not challenging each other, But green flag pit stops are on the horizon. We're now 111 laps in, and Kendall LeBron has been out front for quite a bit of it. Taking a look here, he has led now 30 laps on tonight. Started in 2nd place. Very good qualifying effort for him. He's looking to have himself a very good point stay here tonight.
Very big points day indeed. 53 laps to go. 33 laps in this stint. I believe 10 laps or so before green flag pit stops truly commence. Everybody's just staying in line and doing exactly what they should. Frank Flores off the pace by himself.
You see Derek Jacobs has also moved in, so we got this 5-car pack now.
And you see how unruly they become at 5?
They're being unruly. Yeah, I can see exactly what you're saying. But they are getting ready to catch Frank Flores. You see him out there. So they're going to turn this 5-car pack into a 6-car pack here in a moment.
And then they're going to have elections.
100%. Going to elect who should lead this pack, right?
Yeah, it's just going to get complicated.
I think it's interesting, though. I mean, that these, kind of have these 2 different groups to kind of keep track of.
I think they should definitely split into 2 different sects.
Well, here at a track like this, you beggars can't be choosers. You got to work with whoever you got available to you at the moment. You see Joey Preby, he's starting to fall back a little bit from this little group. I mean, I don't think he's lost the draft here, but I'm wondering possibly his tire wear maybe be getting the best of him right now.
You think? I'm looking at everybody that's in front of him also. Plus, I know that the green flag pit stops are coming, so I think he's just trying to give himself a little bit of distance, so that way he's still in the draft, but he can kind of react once he does see guys starting to come down. Because the one thing you're going to want to do, especially if you're not on this team, you're going to want to have somebody to go down pit road with. Because coming out of pit road by yourself, that's just going to be a suicide mission. So you got a lot of G&G guys up here in this group, and they're going to be concealing when they're going to be pitting. So that's going to put Darren Mullins, Don Avery, and Joey Preby out there really pretty much on their own.
Yeah, definitely for sure. I don't believe Darren Mullins, Joey Preby, or Don Avery even are close to being on the same team. Do see some more battling back here, though. Frank Flores not happy with staying in line with these guys here, but I think that he should. I mean, I would just fall in line. That's the best thing you could do at this moment, because you guys are 12 seconds, more than 12 seconds, back from the lead group. I mean, there's no racing for, you shouldn't be racing for position back here. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Oh, snap, drizzle, bizzle. Kendall LeBron is not in G&G's chat either, so that means he doesn't know when they're going to pit. So he's leading this gaggle, and he has no communication with the guys that are around him.
And he could decide to pit, and those guys just say, hey, no, we're not pitting.
Yeah, it's just going to get interesting, because right now I think this is go time for pitting right now. 45 laps to go. This is the sweet spot.
What is going on here with Joey Preby and Don Avery? Those two were right there behind the top 4. Now they have separated.
I think they're getting ready to start pitting.
I don't think it's worth it to lose the draft here. I mean, I understand, yeah, get ready to pit, but you don't have to lose the draft to pit. Look, I think something's wrong with these race cars. Maybe they burned the tires up.
Do you think they lost the draft intentionally, though?
I don't
you think
so.
they just accidentally lost the draft? And
I think I think it was an accident.
Yeah.
I don't think you purposely lose it.
Once you lose it, it's gone.
There ain't no getting it back. That's right.
Yeah. And sometimes that's just bad juju.
Yeah, I don't think they did that intentionally at all. Why would you? It just makes no sense. And you can see how much that's affecting them. They're losing time, hand over fist here on this front 4. And I do believe we'll see maybe Austin Derbyshire, Gary Adamson, Frank Flores, and Derek Jacobs. Those got that pack there. And Jose Acosta, I think they are probably going to end up catching them. And then, wouldn't that be something to see the front pack had more people in it? Now the back pack is going to have more people in it.
Yeah, and unfortunately right now, this racetrack being so big and this being what it is, barring some caution right now, and that is still a very high possibility, though, Brian, just because where we're at, this track it's been lending itself to that. So that's the one thing that'll pull this, that'll get the band back together, if you will.
Yeah, definitely would. I'm noticing something, though, like, I think Austin Derbyshire is having a little bit of a tough time pushing Jose Acosta. Acosta, he keeps going down below the apron. I talked about this before. Like, it's hard to predict where that driver's going on that apron to give him good pushes. And that's almost a waste of a straightaway because, you know, when you come to super speedways, the optimal time to push is on the straightaway. And I think that they are losing valuable push time, if you will. You even look at Gary Adamson. He's not able to stay in line. He has a problem staying on the bottom line. But 123 into this race. Soon to have, I do believe, 40 laps to go. These guys are 46 laps into this run right now, so they're going a little bit longer than I suspected. I thought they'd try to split it in half. Chris Rivera jumps out of line. He's going to shoot back to Kenny Powell. I think this might be these guys lining up maybe pit stops. I think Chris Rivera and Kenny Powell want to be together here. Looks like they're going to wait another time.
Yeah, with 39 laps to go, I mean, that is going to be right there.
Yeah, so definitely going a little bit longer than I suspected here. But it looks like, I think any time now, I think we can expect to see green flag pit stops anytime. And they might even be communicating with Kenny Powell, because Powell seems like, or Kendall LeBron, because it seems like he's kind of dropped back out of the lead to get with these guys. And Darren Mullins now might get left hanging.
Well, I'm saying the only chatting that will be done over race chat because they are not in the same Discord.
That's a good point.
And not like in the real racing where you can see the guy's little hand out the window.
Yep, can't see that here.
Yeah, I think that is going to be a point of contention, though. No matter whether it's the front or the back, green flag pit stops, especially guys being grouped together, they got to do it. They're all going to be coming in, and you know how it is trying to bring these cars down, getting them from going 180, 190 miles an hour down the pit road speed. That's going to prove to be challenging in itself.
Yeah, and I think the pit road speed here is 45 mile an hour, so that's definitely quite a substantial drop-off. Very easy to make a mistake coming on pit road here. We've already seen that, I do believe, even on Thursday. You want to be as efficient as you can when it comes down to pit road, because, I mean, that's a lot of time that you can lose if you mess that up. And You could lose even more, though, if you try to do it too aggressively. So it's a knife's edge you almost have to walk when you're navigating pit road. Still, no one has decided to pit. I think most, maybe they're waiting on a caution. Maybe they think that one's going to come.
Well, we know they could go a while on fuel and fumes, so I think, yeah, they're just kind of waiting each other out.
Definitely seems like it. Yeah, I definitely think that. I think that the top four here, they realize that as soon as they pit, if a caution comes out, and let's say Joey Preby, Don Avery, they stay out, they're in the lead, and you know what I mean? It could easily go one way or another. They know how track position is very important here as well. But I think we are starting to see tire wear being a factor too. Like, I think that a lot of these guys are not as fast as they were earlier because the tires are starting to wear out. I mean, tires, why do you think, we were talking about it earlier, why do you think these guys were so heavily considering taking tires or not, right? It's because they mean something here. You know, I've seen drivers this week do a 60-lap run here at Atlanta, and they come back with what their tire wear is, and their right front is like usually like 60 or something like that. So, you know, you don't have 60% tire wear and it not affect the race car. So, see, I do believe we see Derek Jacobs coming off pit road. So we have had our first green flag pit stop. Gary Adamson as well as brought it down pit road. So I think that leaves Austin Derbyshire and Frank Flores out of that group that have yet to pit. But the top four are still out on the racetrack. And what's interesting is, this is really interesting. Joey Preby and Don Avery are now starting to catch this front pack. Chris Severa, I don't know if he's having problems because he is having a hard time pushing Kendall LeBron at the moment.
Or you think he's just trying to break up the draft?
I don't know what he's trying to do. I never know what Chris Severa is trying to do. He's a good friend of mine, but I tell you what, I can never guess what his goals are. Usually his goals are correct, though, or, you know, he wins a lot of races, Big Al. So, I mean, it makes sense that, you know, I might not agree with what he's doing, but usually it works out for him, so I guess I can't say too much.
Yeah, I think he's just bored.
I think that might be it, too.
Yep, I think he's just bored. Waiting on green flag pit stops to kind of roll through. Man, these guys are just going to push it. I think they're going to just stay out there for a while, right?
It seems that way. I mean, we're 57 laps now into this run. That means we're getting closer and closer to the end of the fuel window. And Darren Mullins, he's burning more gas than the rest of these drivers as well. And I think that might be why they switched it up as well, because Kendall was leading a lot of laps there. So I think that they switched it up a little bit to make sure that not one driver is burning all the fuel.
Yeah, so they heard the broadcast, and they were like, yeah, let's just make Big Al wrong. So
let's make both. No, me and you both said the same thing, 15-something laps, and they made us both wrong. It wouldn't be the first time I've been wrong, though, right?
There we go, trying to predict the future again. We should just call the race, right?
I love predicting the future. That's fun.
I tell you, it's more fun to call a race than it is to predict the weather, right?
Yeah. But now 136 laps into this race. Green flag pit stops are very much on the horizon. It's got to happen very soon.
Pit stops are going to be happening sooner or later, ladies and gentlemen, no matter what color the flag's going to be. Whether it be yellow or green, these guys will be coming on down pit road. I think everybody's going to be taking 4 tires and fuel.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that is the only call you can make. I mean, we might see someone try to do something different, and if it works, I'll give him a clap on the back. That's great. But I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, now, I don't know. I mean, Atlanta is different.
Not a track. Yeah, this is a new track, man. It's a whole new world.
Whole new can of biscuits.
Somebody has got to go out there and experiment. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially if you experiment and are wrong, the worst that happens is you finish 8th.
Yeah, heck yeah.
There's only 8 drivers on the lead lap at the moment, and soon to be less than that.
You got to risk it for the biscuit, and sometimes this is those opportunities where a little risk equals a big reward.
Could very well be the case. I mean, we've seen people with unorthodox strategies before, and they've turned out very well. I mean, if I recall, Derek Heitman, when we saw him at some of the, one of the road courses, I think it was Indianapolis Road, and he did something that no one else thought to do.
Oh, yeah. He pitted, he short pitted and took tires, so I remember that.
Like, no one ever thought to do that, but he spent less time on pit road and was able to jump out front.
And with the tools that they have now, it equals the playing field for everybody, because iRacing now does a fuel calculation for you as far as how much fuel you need per lap. So these guys know exactly how much fuel they need. Yeah, Brian, I tell you what I would do. I would set my fuel calculator up, and I would risk it. I would only take right side tires only.
Maybe one of these guys will do that as well, and we'll be able to see the results of that. Now, I will say, you talk about that auto fuel thing. I don't trust that thing as far as I can throw it.
We got you there. We got you, Grandpa.
I mean, the reason I don't trust it is because I've heard many stories here recently of guys, having that on, and it doesn't give them enough fuel. Like, it gives, like, they're 2 laps short or something like that.
And I got you. I totally get it.
So, I mean, iRacing definitely needs to kind of, I think, work on that.
I think those guys. Big problems there. I think that green flag pit stop it turned into a horror show.
It almost killed Darren Mullins there. Darren Mullins slowed up in the middle of the track while Kenny Powell, I think we had some contact there. I want to look back at that.
You dang right we did.
Taking a look back at this right here, you see the 64. He slows down in the middle of 3 and 4, right in front of Kenny Powell. And Powell has just enough time to make a maneuver there.
Well, he slowed down and popped up simultaneously. I mean, it was like, you gotta use your turn signals, guys. I mean, come on.
What do you think about it, though, when you're laying on the brakes or lifting, especially the brakes? The brakes is going to make your car tighter, and you're probably going to go up the track more.
Yeah, he just went right up in front of Powell.
Luckily, it didn't turn out worse than it was. But Kendall LeBron also went down pit road along with him. But it looks like now I do believe we have 4 drivers on the lead lap. Joey Preby actually, just went a lap down. Don Avery as well. So now only 2 drivers on the lead lap. They just now went down pit road. And this will, I do believe, give Don Avery the lucky dog. Of course, if we're going to wait on Kenny Powell and Chris Severa, I do believe they're coming down this time by. That's going to give Gary Adamson one of his laps back. A lot of tire smoke on the entry to pit road there for Chris Severa and Kenny Powell. It looks like they were able to successfully get down to pace speed or pit road speed.
Both still good. Everybody's good to go. All right, somebody needs to just go out there and park it sideways in the middle of the track.
Go get it going, Big Al.
They don't want me to do it.
Darren Mullins, though, all by himself on the racetrack at the moment. Where does Kenny Powell and Chris Severa come out at? I think Darren might come out right behind him here. No, he's actually going to take the lead. But, of course, he is by himself. So I think Chris Severa and Kenny Powell will be able to draft back up to him. But what a shakeup I wonder what happened with Kendall LeVron. Looks like he might have had a bad stop.
Yeah, Kendall actually ended up spending just 14.7 seconds in his box. But you know how long Darren Mullins spent in his box?
How long?
Nah, I'm not going to tell you.
Well, I could just look myself. He spent 9.2.
9.2 seconds, baby. He took right tires only.
I think he might have been listening to the broadcast there, Big Al, listening to you and your your ideas.
We're going to see if that's the difference, because also understand these guys, one thing to catch them, but they got to pass them too, Brian. Now, they are definitely, they're lining up behind him.
Yeah, this is getting a lot more interesting than it was just a few moments ago. Look at that. Severa up on the top. Kendall LeVron, even though he spent longer on pit road, is still right there in the mix. Don Avery also in the mix. And look at this. Joey Preby is in the mix again. He was about 3 seconds back before that pit stop. So he did something right. I'm wondering if Preby maybe took 2 tires as well.
I know that Don Avery did, and Preby did. Preby said a full stop for Joey Preby.
Oh, interesting. I'm surprised that he's up here in the mix.
The only two that did a shorter stop would have been Don Avery and Darren Mullins.
We got a 3-car breakaway here. Chris Severa, Kenny Powell, and Kendall LeVron. I think they want to keep it this way. I don't think they're going to battle until we get to those final couple laps. I think they want to separate from the rest of this group. And it looks like they're capable of doing it.
Yeah, I think the rest of the group, they need to get in line. I mean, you're not going to get it doing side by side. You got to get one behind another, especially for those guys that don't have as fresher tires as the other guys.
And I think that falls on the shoulders of Derek Jacobs. I mean, he's 3 laps down. There's no positions to be gained right now. Just get in line and push Don Avery, you know? That's what I say. And I'm looking at Darren Mullins. I think that might have been a bad call, but at least he learned a lesson, right?
Well, somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, otherwise we don't know, right?
Absolutely. I mean, all of those things, like somebody had to be the first person to get bit by a rattlesnake.
That's right.
Realized,
to write that down, like, oh yeah, don't get bit by a rattlesnake.
Oh, yeah. Coyote, not a dog. Don't pet. Got it. Cool.
Oh, man, that's too funny. I think the pack is getting ready to coalesce once again, though. You see Joey Preby, I think he's got just enough of this draft. I don't know, though. Look at that. We see they started battling again.
Yep, Avery, but I think Avery was just falling to the rear right there. They kind of mixing it up. Going to put Jacobs up front there because you see they are reeling in the leaders right here.
Oh, they reeled them in very fast. Looks like Derek Jacobs still has a hot rod underneath him at the moment. Of course, he is 3 laps down. So if I was him, I'd be real careful he doesn't affect any of the racers on the lead lap.
Well, yeah, but this is all about creating an avenue or an outlet or an inlet with 10 laps to go. It's just about getting somebody else up into the mix so they can kind of get up there and maybe fend for a higher position. Maybe that person that we're looking for that could be extended to a good hand of faith could be Darren Mullins or Joey Preby, as they're still up in the mix and looking for any kind of help they can get. And the one thing that's connected them to the lead pack is the 27 of Derek Jacobs. So they're not wanting them to get out of the way, at least not right now.
I don't know what Don Avery is doing right now. Like, he was in the draft, and now he has lost it completely.
Don Avery is sliding away. Remember, he didn't take 4 tires.
Oh, yeah.
And once that draft leaves, brother, like you said, it's just, that train ain't coming back. It's going one way, boss.
I think Darren Mullins might even be in risk here because, you talk about him not taking tires. And it just shows you how much they mean. Like, they don't look like they mean much, but let you not take them and see how much they mean, right?
You know what this lesson says? Don't listen to me, boss. I ain't down there driving the car. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Coming up on some lap traffic, Austin Derbyshire and Gary Adamson soon to be going a lap down. This could be interesting, though, because they are side by side, or they were for a second there. This could get interesting, and they are Gary Adamson all the way down onto the apron. They're going to try to, I think, get by on the top side.
No harm, no foul. Looks like everybody's going to get by just fine.
Austin Derbyshire now is the lucky dog for now.
But nobody wants to see a caution coming out at this point. 7 laps to go. These guys got to keep these birds in the wind. Got to keep them feathers flapping, brother. Chris Severa now, your race leader.
Whoa.
Look, he understands what's on his review, what's on his bumper, and he's going to have to make that 62 Camaro as wide as he can.
Yeah, he definitely almost got turned by the 24. Now, of course, this is that point to where teammates don't mean nothing. These guys are about to really start to race. And just look at how powerful that draft is. Don Avery already way back 7 seconds back. Luckily, Austin Derbyshire, being that lucky dog, was able to get into the draft.
Did I say 5 laps to go already?
It is now 5 laps to go. I don't think you said it. I'm saying it now.
Didn't know if I said that or not.
Chris Severa in the lead. Coming up on now 4 to go. A little bit of wiggling going on there from Kendall LeBron.
A lot of what I'm telling you, what they're doing now is they're poking the bear. Everybody's trying to see where's that weak spot. This is not going to go as we had talked about. This is going to be sporty because these guys are just looking for an opportunity to take a run here, Brian.
Pull Chris Severa's screen up here as we see his in-car camera. So he is definitely showing a look of focus right now. He has Kenny Powell all over his rear end. Of course, these guys very much friends. Will they be friends after this race, depending on what happens in the next couple laps?
Apparently, Severa's not the only one that wants to win this thing here this evening.
No, not at all. Coming up on 2 laps to go. We have to make it to the white flag before the next flag will end it. If we get a caution, these guys will have to double it up for a green-white checker. And I think it's a possibility. I think it is. Look at that. Darren Mullins. Where did he come from?
Well, it's not where he came from. It's where he's at. And where he's at right now is snuggled right down in 3rd place. And he is pushing his way. Going to be the pivot man here. Going to be the hinge point.
I don't know where he came from. He just... What a move.
Yeah, here comes Kendall LeBron. And he is going to be pulling up. And Mullins is going to be trying to take all of the air that he can. Oh, a hard hit there. What a bump to the 24. And that, I'm telling you, that bump might have gave Kenny Powell what he needed to have an opportunity to win this thing.
Final lap. The white flag is out. We're on the backstretch. They are doubled up. Chris Severa lead. Kendall LeBron to the bottom. Side by side for the lead. And Kendall... I think Kendall might have it. It's still side by side. No, Severa gets the advantage. And Chris Severa will win his 4th race in the Super Cup season. What a spectacular finish. We got to roll that one back, Big Al. We'll play back through this final lap once again. Anybody at this point could have won this race. See the wiggling. These guys wanted to win so bad. You see Kendall move to the bottom. Thought he probably had it sewn up. But Chris Severa able to get a run up on the top. What a finish. Only, I do believe, 600ths separated those 2 drivers when they crossed the start-finish line. We'll go ahead and go through your final race results. Chris Severa with the big win. Kendall LeBron finishes in 2nd. Kenny Powell in 3rd. Darren Mullins in 4th. 5th place, Joey Preby. Sixth place, Don Avery. Seventh, Austin Derbyshire. Ninth, Gary Adamson. I'm sorry, eighth, Gary Adamson. Ninth, Frank Flores. 10th, Derek Jacobs. 11th, Jose Acosta. 12th, Paul Olson. And 13th, of course, 81 laps down with an unfortunate night tonight is Chris Johnson. With that, we'll go ahead and take a brief step away, and we'll be right back with your post-race show as we watch Chris Severa burn it down. Well, let's watch him for just a moment, and then we'll take a brief step away.
Hey everybody, my name is Warren Maddox. I am the president of Ultimate Experience Outdoors. Our mission, we are dedicated to taking veterans, first responders, youth, and Gold Star family members on outdoor excursions across the country.
Support for our mission has many forms, from camp cooks to the great storytellers, some buddies with the band, maybe you just want to build a campfire and sit around and listen. Nothing goes unnoticed.
Camaraderie is reborn. The acceptance among the men and women that took an oath.
Whether it was decades ago or recently renewed, but never forgotten.
If you feel like you could help us, please visit our website, www.uxonation.org.
There, you can register to hunt, sign up to sponsor an event, or even donate to us so we can continue to execute our mission.
Oh my gosh, I'm so tough, bro. We get a hug, man. What have you done, Jim?
We need your help to hold the line once again.
We decided it's time to put a different kind of power tool in your hands. Store Mode in the Home Depot app gives you in-store tools made to help you get more done. To guide you every step of the way and explore products quickly with the scan. That way you get the top brands at the best prices without missing a beat. It's made for doing. Download the Home Depot app and see how doers get more done.
All righty, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. And what a race that was. What a finish that was. Kenny Powell, Kendall LeVron, Chris Severa, any one of those three drivers could have won this race. And we're going to be joined in by, unfortunately, the one that finished third. Of course, still pretty good dang finish considering, Kenny, you finished second on Thursday. You finished third here tonight. That's 2 podiums in a row. How you feel about that?
Disappointed. I wanted to win in one of those 2 races and came up short. But yeah, I mean, it beats the alternative being turned around backwards and not being on the podium. So, it's like I say, it's not easy to get the podiums here. So, getting 2 of them this week feels pretty good.
Yeah, definitely going to be a good point stay for you. I mean, how big was it to try to get as many points as you could here tonight? I mean, I know this is the start, I do believe, of the Cup Series season. Was that important? Was that on your mind?
Not really. It was just to have a safe race, and I knew if I keep all the fenders on it, I know that I'll be there at the end. So that was the main goal, just to keep all the fenders on it.
Now, what was the difference? I know Thursday night you had probably a strategy in mind. Did that change at all for Saturday?
Probably because of the size of the field, a little smaller here, kind of less options to play with, really. So I knew it was just going to be, stay basically in line, boring race, honestly. Stay in line and stay with the lead pack and make sure I had a good pit stop. And, again, if I did those things, I knew I'd be there, for the podium. And at the end.
Well, you definitely did a great job. Started in 8th place and finished in 3rd. And, next week, I think you're going to be happy that you got a podium this week, because next week might not be so easy to get a podium. Coda on the docket. How you feeling about it?
Yeah, that's going to be a struggle for me. I have to. Road races don't come naturally to me. I have to work at them. So definitely need to put in the practice and see how fast I can get. And maybe it's going to be good enough for podium, but we'll see. I just hope to run good and stay on the track. That'll be a win for me.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Well, definitely great job to you, Kenny. Who can we give a shout out to after this 3rd place finish?
Let's see. All the usuals: the Home Depot, TLC, Butt Kicker, TWRS for the sets. Kenny Coppola knocks them out of the park every week. And G&G Racing, and you guys up in the booth. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, we definitely appreciate you putting on a good show out there. Definitely gave us a finish to remember. That's for sure. Thanks for your time, Kenny. We'll see you next time.
Sure thing, man.
That was Kenny Powell, our driver of the 24. Led 5 laps tonight, finished in 3rd. Not a bad day at all. Good points for sure. I think he was up there in the mix for the most part during the stages as well. Next up, Big Al's going to be standing by with Kendall LeVron.
Hey, Kendall LeVron, Big Al up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. Got you right, loud and clear.
Looked like you had a second place car, that hot rod, bringing it off of the trailer. Qualified P2, finished P2. First off, congratulations to that.
Appreciate it, man. I honestly, I kind of wish I waited to the last minute coming through 3 and 4. I could have able to pick up the victory, but doing the same thing at Daytona, basically 1-2 with Severa, still accomplished P2 is actually pretty awesome.
So tell me this. I mean, this racetrack, this car, you just compared it to Daytona. So is this a true super speedway hybrid car? Is this thing really fun for you?
It is, as long as you, with the right group of guys racing around this track, a lot of bad stuff won't happen. Not a lot, but there will be some, but not a lot. But this week was kind of like a hit and miss with me. But anyway, it's kind of like Daytona. The side draft will kill you if you're in the lead, and the person on your outside is going to side draft you really hard, and you're going to lose all the momentum. No matter what super speedway, it's just this aero package we got. It's not good.
What about tire wear? Was tire wear a factor on this car? Because even though this does kind of race more like a super speedway, and on a track like Daytona, Talladega, you really aren't going to be hampered with having to take tires. So we even had a couple guys that actually slipped through on the last set and took 2, but that didn't fare too well. So did tire wear really affect you at all this evening?
I actually took I took 4 sets of tires. It would in a long run, especially if you're coming to your pit stop. I literally had to pit on that lap because I had like 1 lap of fuel left, and I'm not gonna run out of fuel during the race. But for this track, it's almost similar like Daytona and Talladega, but Daytona and Talladega you got to take you could take 2 tires and you can keep going. This one, the corners are a little bit sharper. You got to turn the wheel a little bit more than what Daytona and Talladega is. So you're wearing your tires a lot more. But it's kind of similar how the cars are driving around the track. But the tire wear, you got to take 4 tires if you're going to get up there into the front.
Yeah, I definitely think that would be the tail of the tape. Now, another thing we noticed, a lot of guys got squirrely on that last restart there. I believe it was a restart at the end of stage 2 when we had about 10 laps to go in the stage, and you guys elected not to take tires. What happened with that?
Some guys that selected not to take tires, I'm not sure why. I don't know. But with old tires and the way you start on this track is in first gear, so some people are going to get squirrely. But I didn't actually had somebody get squirrely in front of me, so it was around me, but I wasn't paying attention to them besides what's in front of me.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. Definitely tremendous performance for you. Next week we head back to a road course. I believe we head to Dakota. What are your aspirations as well as your limitations going into that event?
Practice. That's all you can do. Practice makes perfect. That's all you can do with the road course. You just got to learn the track and drive the track. Don't worry about your competitors. Just drive the track. That's all you can do.
All right, I'm going to quote you on that, man. So if anybody asks me what I think, I'm going to tell them what you said, babe. But congratulations again for P2 finish. Before we let you go, who you shouting out tonight?
Shout out to Team Watson Racing Setups. Kenny put out a phenomenal setup this week, and just like just about every single week. Martin Sports and NRN, I believe it is. I don't have the name on me, but shout out to all those sponsors. Shout out to my family and friends that are watching this. Thank you and Brian for putting up the broadcast, and Kenny and all the guys from G&G putting up for ISCA.
Roger that, boss. You get out there and you'll have yourself a good time. And as I always say, don't party too hard.
10-4, man.
Alrighty, that was Kendall LeBron, your second place finisher. Definitely a valiant attempt there for sure. Finished side by side with our next guest, Chris Severa. Of course, grabbing his 4th win of the Super Cup season. Chris, I mean, man, you're on a roll. I mean, the only person I think that has won in the Super Cup season was Clayton Hoffman a few races ago, but you have just been absolutely dominating them out here.
Yeah, man, just going out there doing the best we can, just trying to put us in the best situations we can to win, and luckily it's been turning up us.
It definitely has. Now, this is a track where it's more like rolling the dice to see how, things are going to kind of go. But, you seem like you, first stage, you kind of laid back and weren't really wanting to get involved in the action as much. Was that the strategy early? And as the race goes on, did you get more aggressive, you think?
Yeah, I was just trying to avoid the big one if it ever came. We didn't really get anything too drastic tonight other than the big stack up on the restart. But,
scary. That was scary.
No, other than that, though, we were just trying to avoid the big one and just be there for stage 3.
100%. Now, you did see that stack up. What do you attribute that to? Do you think it was just not taking tires or?
No, it's just we were all in wrong gears, and yeah, it just once we stack up and you got somebody pushing you, you don't want to be the guy to lift, because then if somebody else gets into you, then you're going to be the one going around. So once you have somebody pushing on you, it makes it even harder to shift gears. But yeah, it's just it is what it is. We all survived it, so no big deal.
100%. Now, we saw that you and Kenny Pound worked very well together out there on the track. Did y'all have kind of a plan, like a game plan coming into this? I mean, you pitted on the same lap as well. It seemed like you guys had like little secret plans behind the scenes.
No, it was really all man for himself. Just kind of on those first 2 stages, got to sit in the pack more than those guys did, and with this track, you can go flat out for a little bit, but eventually you're going to start washing up the track, and just started noticing a lot of guys doing that. So once we went out there for stage 3, I was just like, well, let's get to the front as quick as we can. Luckily, I was able to hook up with Darren and Kendall and able to get up there. And you travel the slowest when you're at the front of the pack, so that helped with the tire wear a lot. And plus, we were fuel saving at that point. I just think we just had better tires there at the end.
Yeah, definitely seems like tires meant a lot more than what you'd see at another super speedway like track. Of course, this being Atlanta. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, I know a lot of people, I'm pretty sure the majority say they want the old Atlanta back, but watching out there, it looked like it was a whole lot of fun.
No, this race was boring. I want the old Atlanta back 100%. We're just sitting in line, and unless you get people who can really push on the outside, because if one slight lift on the outside and you're breaking all your momentum, you're not going to have anything for the bottom lane. So yeah, unless we can do that, it's just, I don't know. It's, you can get a third lane going, but you know, it's just rough. The turns are way too sharp for the banking. We might as well be riding that old Italian track called the Wall of Death, where it's literally like an 89-degry incline, if that's what NASCAR really wants. But you know, can't blame iRacing for that. It's just what no, it's called the Wall of Death, man. I think you gotta look
Never
it up.
heard
Way
of it.
before
No.
Monza. Yeah, it's crazy. But I think that's what whoever the mastermind architect was behind this track, I think that's where they got their inspiration from. But yeah, other than that though, man, yeah, it was fun coming down there to the end, getting the ball with those guys. So
Now I know you didn't win any stages at all either in this race, but you did win the race itself. You know, you've been building up quite a bit of points. I think you coming into this race had a 40-something point lead on everybody, maybe even more than that. So is that the goal though, to just keep building as many points as you can? Because I mean, it's such a long season.
yeah, just staying as consistent as we can. We probably lost a little bit going into this with not being as up in the points for the stages as we could have been. But yeah, I mean, that I'm willing to let that go with having that cushion coming into this race, because you know, just as easily as you could be up there running first and second, you can be road 10 in the grandstands the next turn. So you never really know with these tracks. So just rather just play it safe and get to the end.
Well, that's an interesting point you make there. You know, we talk about that all the time, that stage wins can mean more than the actual win. So, I mean, I would assume Darren Mullins, I think he won stage 1 and 2, and was probably able to get more points than you, even though you won the race. How does that make you feel? Is that something that you like about the ISCA?
I mean, it's not really less on the ISCA. It's more just, you know, we're just doing what NASCAR does, and that's what you know, NASCAR thinks is the good thing. It doesn't, at the end of the season, it doesn't really come down to who's the most consistent. It comes down to, you know, whoever can win it. So, you know, it is what it is. Love it or hate it, but it's what we got. So.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it definitely makes it pretty interesting out there for sure to see someone with a little bit of a different strategy to race and you know, win the stages and get more points than even the race winner. It's just crazy to think that for sure, but you know, it definitely adds a whole another sense of excitement. But great job to you tonight, Chris. COTA going to be coming up next week. Circuit of the Americas. I know you're, you know, I'd say you call yourself probably a good road course racer, right? How do you feel like your chances are there?
Pretty good. I know there's a couple guys in this league who are pretty good on road courses as well. Again, it just all comes down to consistency, and you know, one mistake can be all it takes to let a guy by. And when you're as evenly matched with some of these guys, it's can make it just that more difficult to pass with this car. But COTA's got plenty of passing opportunities, a lot of tight corners to go into. So yeah, it should be fun.
Yeah, definitely should be fun for sure. I know that is kind of a crazy track to see those next gens on for sure, and should be very entertaining. And hopefully you're right. Hopefully there'll be a lot of passing zones for sure, and hopefully all the drivers out there will be able to take advantage of that. With that, great job on the win there, Chris. Congratulations. Who can we give a shout out to after this big victory?
Yeah, I guess and go 3F Racing, TWR for the setup. It's great. And you guys, as always, Kenny for putting on the league, and you guys, as always, for the broadcast. Real appreciate you.
All right, we definitely appreciate you too, Chris. You know, telling it like it is and getting out there and winning this race. We love to watch you out there, always rooting for you. But we'll see you next time. Hopefully we'll see you at COTA. I have no doubts we'll probably end up talking to you there.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
All righty, that was Chris Severa. For him, he definitely took care of business out there, Big Al. But I'll tell you who really took care of business tonight. Even though we didn't get to interview him, was Darren Mullins. I thought he had a fantastic showing out there. I think he had one of the best cars out here tonight.
Yeah, he absolutely did. I would definitely second you on that, Brian. But unfortunately, we can't talk to everybody, and he came up just a little bit short in P4. But you know what? The good thing about it is he'll be able to get back on that horse and try again next week, as will we.
Yeah, of course. He did get at least to talk to us during after stage 1 with his stage 1 and I do believe stage 2 victory. So that's going to be a lot of points going to be into that coffer there for that 64, but a lot of points being paid out to a lot of drivers here tonight for sure. Of course, Kenny Powell with the 2 podiums in a row from Thursday and Saturday. And, of course, this is the first race, or was the first race, I should say, for the Cup Series. So we have long way to go. Of course, 13-week season. Now 12 weeks left to go in this one. Can't wait to see what these guys have in store for us. A lot of different tracks coming up here on the schedule. But can't wait to see everybody at COTA. Of course, make sure you tune in on Thursday. That will be the first, race there at COTA with the Thursday night Cup Series, which has just gotten started as well. Whole different cast of characters. Of course, that one starts at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The actual race itself goes green flag at around 9:30 p.m. After that, on Saturday, we'll be right back here at the same place with this same cast of characters to see if they can duke it out and win themselves a championship. Thanks, everybody, for watching it, and we'll see you next time.